And coming up on this laughter-packed episode of the Grumpy Gits, we get behind the scenes of Adam's recent appearance on Celebrity Masterchef and ask the question on everyone's lips: when has cauliflower ever been a replacement for chicken? We talk YouTube boxing, questioning whether it's actually good for the sport or is it just clickbait for YouTubers. In this week's Dear Grumpy Gits, we delve into a viewer's most embarrassing moment ever and raise the issue of interfering mothers, while Chris is on form asking the most divisive see you next Tuesday questions yet. All this and your usual favourites, so grab a brew, get comfy and strap in for the latest instalment of the Grumpy Gits. And remember, don't be grumpy alone.
And welcome back to another fantabulous episode of the Grumpy Gits, the podcast that always says, "Hey soul sister, ain't that Mr. on the radio, stereo, the way you move ain't there, you know. Hey soul sister, I don't want to miss another thing you do tonight." I am the glorious host Adam Pearson, and I am joined by three people, none of whom I reckon know what that reference is, but let's go and see, shall we? Coming in first, he is the master of the C to the U to the N to the T, Mr. Chris Leasmith. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, mate. Not a lot to report, to be honest. Got a new game, but not much is going on. Just waiting for the kids to go back to school. That's it.
And what game did you get, good sir?
I got, not GTA, Saints Row, the new one.
Ooh, how are you finding it?
I am finding it underwhelming. It's on the PS5 and it looks like it's on the PS4 360. And they haven't done much to it. It's kind of boring.
It's a rebuild, but also it's a stripped back version of what we're used to as Saints Row players, which is like 40-inch dildos as weapons and over-the-top superpowers. I find it really boring.
It's not. It's not that at all. It's very, I hate this term and I hate people that use it, but I can't think of anything better. Woke. It's proper, like student with murder. So, but I'm enjoying it.
Woke with murder.
Yeah, woke with murder.
I'm a woke serial killer.
There we go. Grumpy Gits, hashtag woke with murder. Let's all get it trending. Also joining us from deepest, darkest Devon, Mr. Duncan Casburn. How are you?
I'm very well, yes. Going well. Much in the same boat as Chris, just waiting for the kids to go back. If I have to sit through any more Lego superhero video games on the PS, I'm going to lose my mind. There's only so much you can take.
They're amazing. All the Lego games are great. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about 6 weeks almost consistently having it on the screen with minor interruptions to play Spider-Man or Fortnite. It's yeah.
That's what I'd be doing anyway. I don't have kids, and that's been my last 6 weeks as well.
Yeah, but when you're playing the game, fair enough. When you are an audience member watching someone else play it
badly.
Oh, and I was going to say, so, and off the record, are they playing it shit?
Actually, I've got to say, my son, Fortnite, he regularly gets battle royales. It's quite funny at 7, and you've got all these experienced players who've been playing for donkey's years, and he's nailing them. He's really good at it. He's like,
my boy.
Yeah. He was very proud he got the Darth Vader skin for it the other day, so he was very happy about that.
Mm.
And finally, coming to you live from his villa in Spain. I know he had one either, but he does. Simon Sansome, how are things, good sir?
I don't have one, I have 3.
Well, there we go. Someone is flexing today.
I'm hot. It's hotter than the sun. And because we're doing the podcast now, and it's still 30 degrees outside, we've had to turn the air conditioning off. So I'm just a ball of sweat at the moment, which is lovely.
That does sound hot. You are right. And outside of Viva España, What have you been up to?
Snowball's doing really well. If anyone doesn't know, Snowball Community is a disability app where you can leave reviews on places and say if you'll go back. And it's doing really well at the moment. We've got, getting close to 1,000 reviews, almost 500 members. It's doing really, really well. It was the most read article in Dorset this week. Don't know why. But no, there are hundreds of places been reviewed in Newcastle, Leicestershire, Loughborough, little villages in Syston and stuff. People have been going out and leaving reviews. So it's doing tremendously well at the moment, and it helps people access their own communities. So go on to the Apple and Android store and download Snowball Community.
And for the record, Snowball Community, not the sex thing. Anyway, moving on to our regular See You Next Tuesday set. Don't Google it, just take my word for it. Moving on to our regular See You Next Tuesday segment. Chris, what have you got for us this week? How are you going to get us all at each other's throats?
I don't know, but I'm just wondering how many viewers we're going to lose from people Googling that and forgetting to go back on the podcast. Anyway, question
Open a
one.
separate tab. New tab, and Google it.
So question one. It's a two-part question, this one. What's your favourite hobby / pastime / time killer thing to do? For every year that passes that you don't do it, you save one Grumpy Git. How many Grumpy Gits do you save? So, what's your favourite pastime hobby? And for every year you don't do it, you save a Grumpy Git. How many years could you go without doing it? Start with Duncan.
Well, yeah, it's obviously music and guitar.
How many are you saving?
Yeah,
I'll miss you, Duncan. I'll miss you, Duncan.
Yeah, that's it. You are dead to me. There is no way I could survive without being able to do my music. And yeah, I couldn't. It would just be, you might as well kill me, because there's no way I can go through life without music.
You're not an option. It's us.
No, that's what I'm saying. The only option is either kill me or you're all gone, because I can't go a day.
Okay, well, this is going to cause some fractions. Let's go with Simon next. What's your favourite pastime, time killer thing to do? And for every year that passes you don't do it, you save a Grumpy Git. What is it, and how many years do you go without doing it?
It's got to be writing. Yeah.
Writing. And how many are you killing off of us?
I quite like you all. I'm going to be quite nice this week. Not going to kill anyone off. I write on a regular basis. I'm writing every week. Sorry.
That kills us.
Yeah,
that's
that
the
kills
whole
us.
point. That kills us.
You have to go without it.
Oh no. See you later, lads.
Jesus. I don't like this question now. Right, Adam. How many years are you going without wanking, and how many are you saving?
Oh, dude, I had a joke lined up where I was going to go.
I'm not letting you have that.
What's your hobby? Snowball, the sex thing, not the app. Hi to our new sponsors, by the way. More about that later. It would probably be Magic the Gathering.
Okay, how many are you saving?
And if this was like a real life or death thing, I'd sell up my entire collection, cash out, and I'd take us all on holiday. So
Nice.
I'd save all three of you.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
I still don't think you're telling the truth about your hobby, but yeah, it's
We'll
leave it at
song
that.
for you.
I honestly
Yes, mate.
believe, Chris, you're blurring the lines between hobby and addiction in a way I do not appreciate.
Oh, let's move on. Okay, question two.
What's your hobby? Cocaine.
Question two. If we all had a turn at running the free world, from 1 to 4, who is the most and least likely to get close to world peace? Let's start with Simon.
Oh, absolutely not. Under no circumstances do I want world peace. Wars create money.
What's great? Okay, right. So where are you putting yourself on the list?
Oh, I mean, let's face it. I'm up there with King Jong-un. No chance whatsoever.
Okay, so you number 4?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd make a number 5 slot just for Simon.
So where are you putting the rest of us?
I don't know. See, Duncan's quite a softie at heart, isn't he? I mean, Adam will just fuck everyone over. And Chris. Oh, I don't know. I think you're quite militant, so I'm going to go me, Chris, Duncan, Adam. No, other way around. Adam, Duncan. Yeah.
Adam Duncan. So Duncan is most likely to bring world peace. Yeah.
Yes.
I think he hates the least out of all of us. So I think that's true. Yeah, I say hates a strong word. He's more tolerant of more things. I think he's got more patience. Okay, let's go on to Adam next. Same question.
Here's something that you'll never hear me say. I agree with Simon. I think he nailed it.
Wow.
I do.
Order. I think Simon can't keep peace in his own house.
It's true. I mean, me and Kate bicker all the time.
You told us you were the husband from heaven, that you were delivered on a rainbow of unicorn dust. And last episode, that's all you had to say. Oh, I'm a wonderful husband.
I'm a caring, wonderful husband.
I am a caring, wonderful husband.
My wife. Pretty fucking right.
Right, let's get back on track.
Yeah,
Duncan,
on.
Same question to you. World leaders, who would make the best and worst in order? From who's going to be worst first?
Well, this is for achieving world peace, not who's going to be the best leader, yeah?
The worst, who's not going to achieve world peace? Who's so far removed from it, is evil, he's in Spain.
Sorry, that's what I was going to say.
Sorry, I was giving away my choices there.
Yeah, there's the reason for the Spanish Inquisition, wasn't there? I can't see Simon would just piss too many people off.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way.
I'm brutally honest, and it doesn't work in negotiations.
Yeah. I think it's the fact that you're brutally honest, combined with brutally misguided. When you combine those two things, it's the perfect storm.
I just wanted a name, Duncan. I didn't want to beat the shit out of Simon.
I actually think, I think the list so far, I do think I'd probably stand the best chance of achieving world peace. But honestly, I go back to Robin Williams, who said that this is why we should only have women leaders. If we had women leaders, there'd be no more wars, just intense negotiations every 28 days.
And who's taken second and third?
So I agree. I think it would be Simon, yourself, Adam, then me, probably.
Well, Simon nailed it. So let's move on to question 3. From 1 to 4, name who is the most relatable to our viewers. This time, let's start with Adam.
Let me think. Who is the most relatable? Who is the most relatable to our viewers? 3 houses in Spain.
A butler, a chef.
No Sebastian Stan and Scarlett Johansson. Loves music more than his friends. Sound a computer game woke.
Guys, can we get the list?
What the fuck are we doing here?
I know, right? I reckon it's Simon, me, Chris, Duncan.
So Duncan's the most relatable. Okay,
I reckon.
Let's go to Duncan next. Same question. Name from 1 to 4. Who is the most relatable to our viewers?
I actually think it's Simon, Chris, me, Adam. I think Adam, in spite of his celebrity status and all that kind of stuff, he's a bit of an everyman, and I think people like that. I think there's an everyman element to Adam that translates well.
Go on, Simon.
Yeah, because you're a great cook. We'll get to that later.
Simon, go on.
Yeah, so I actually think Adam is the bottom of the list here because, let's face it, he's been hanging out in Hollywood, superstars for the past 5 weeks. Is on Pornhub with Scarlett Johansson.
Isn't that
and
relatable now?
I honestly think that he might get nominated for an Emmy or maybe an Academy Award in the next few months as well.
But he plays Magic the Gathering. It's like,
yeah.
how can you be on top of this? And then you've got the single nerdiest possible game on earth. It just brings it right back down again.
I think
That was
Adam's
a backwards compliment.
I think Adam's going to become a superstar very shortly, and I think he's going to forget all three of us. So I'm going to put Adam at the bottom of the list, then me, then Chris, then Duncan.
You honestly think that you're more relatable than Adam?
Yep, I do.
I'm an everyman.
Give it a couple of weeks. You wait for the Emmy nominations to come out in a few months' time, and he's a goner. He's not doing the Grumpy Gits anymore.
Mate, I'm not a goner. You don't see what happens behind closed doors.
Yeah, you haven't seen the contract he signed either.
I play Magic the Gathering, can masturbate to anything. Anything!
Well, I think
pandas are our biggest viewing element for Adam.
like genuinely. Like, DuckTales woohoo in every sense of the term.
Well, I think See You Next Tuesday has done its job this week, and that's the end of the segment.
Well, there we go. We all learned way more about me than we had to in that segment, didn't we? I look forward to my Wikipedia being updated shortly. Go for your lives. Go for your lives. Here at the Grumpy Gits, we take great pride in the fact that we like to give back to our community that listen to us. Last week, we managed to get to the bottom of what happens between a man and a dolphin, and is it okay? And this week, we're going to go for a rinse and repeat, and Duncan Casburn, we have another soul to save, do we not?
We do. In fact, this soul to save is actually the brother of my best friend growing up, who saw the segment and reached out to me and just said, here's what we've got. So he's written me a letter, and I'm going to read it out to you. So he's titled it, How Do I Deal with My Mum? While I'm a grown man, my mum still has a way of reducing me to my childlike state, and I think it all stems from this single event in my teen years. It's happened back in the 90s. At a family dinner, myself, my mum, her fiancé, and my two elder brothers, and one of my mates were all sitting down. We were a devout Christian household, and I was about 14. My oldest brother was a bit of a rebel, and he was often in trouble though. The main course hit the table and we all dug in, and it was at this moment that my mother struck. She locked eyes with my oldest brother and said, I'm sorry to do this now, but it has to be addressed. Why did I find this in your bathroom bin? Pulling out of her pocket an unwrapped condom. I instantly broke into a cold sweat, but remained silent, praying for the moment to pass. My oldest brother looked incredulous. It's not mine, he spat. The tension at the table was unbelievable. No one knew where to look as my mum waved the Johnny about. She turned her gaze to my older brother, who said nothing but just shook his head as if to say, not mine. I could feel the gaze shift to me and I couldn't look up. I was frozen in fear. I knew I had to confess, but how to explain it? Let me rewind 24 hours. I got a Smash Hits magazine and it had come with a free condom. I'd never worn one before and I wanted to know how it felt. So I got into the bathroom, locked the door, pulled my pants down and rolled out the rubber. I looked in the mirror, admired it and removed it, and then put it at the bottom of the bin, being careful to cover it so that my brothers wouldn't see it. Can you imagine what they'd do if they'd found out? Back to our dinner, and I suddenly had to confess this to my mum in front of all my these three same brothers, a friend and my mum's fiancé. As I told my story, there was a stunned silence that lasted for what felt like an eternity. The silence was broken when my oldest brother just snorted, which like a virus spread to everyone else in the room, and no one could speak because they were laughing so hard. As you can imagine, this story went round my school, my family, my friends, and I have never lived it down. It gets raised at every birthday, every family event, and I've never been able to forget it. Please help me, Grumpy Gits. How do I erase this story from my life?
You embrace it. Everyone's. Let's face it. Everyone's been there, haven't they? Come on, everyone's done it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm stunned that this fine fellow wants to erase this story from his life. His words, not mine, and fucking emails us. Thinking that we're gonna somehow help him, I'd have owned it. I'd have been like, yeah, had a posh wank, what of it? And then moved on.
Whoa.
It came with a smash. It came with a smash hits magazine.
No, wait, rewind. He did not, in it.
No.
That's what I'd have said happened. I'd have gone all in. I'd have made this so incredulous that rather than finding it funny, they excommunicated me. Because then my reputation remains intact.
I do have one question.
It does.
I do have one question about this story. If Mum found it in the bin and she picked it up, okay, there wasn't anything in it, so she must have been wondering, where's it gone?
Well, I can't go into the mind workings of a mother who pockets a condom and then brings it out at dinner in front of family, friends, and her fiancé.
Oh, my friend, you have no idea how Christians work. That's exactly what would happen.
I go back to... I always put myself in this situation when we come up with these stories. Why didn't he say, I thought it was a water balloon, I filled it up, I threw it away?
That would have been smart.
It's so easy to get out of these situations. Honestly, I don't... It's Captain Hindsight here.
It sounds like Chris has been in this situation before.
And guess why no one's heard the fucking story? Because I lied about it. It's easy.
Says the man who just said we've all been there, haven't we?
We all tried on a condom in private, like we're fucking clothes shopping. And
that's a great idea for a business.
Ribbed for your pleasure.
Oh God! The only way I can think that he can erase this, and it's not a perfect erasure, is to do something worse. Literally, do something worse, and you'll be remembered for that rather than the bathroom condom. Or make up a story worse about his brothers that gets eclipsed. So they turn around and say, oh, you remember when he had that Johnny? And then he could turn around and say, well, remember when you shit yourself in McDonald's or something like that?
Knowing the family, the eldest brother had that wrapped up. He was always in trouble for one thing or another, hence why it was obviously him who got targeted first. But I think the problem is that he was the baby. He was the youngest. And so it had that impact as well. Like, he was the one that everyone, oh, he's such a sweet young
The golden
man.
child.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just got boom.
How old was he at the time, do we know?
He said about 14.
Oh, God.
oh Christ, there's
Poor
no way
kid.
that's been erased from your memory.
No.
That's... Hello, my friend. Welcome to Trauma. Nice to meet you.
If you'd like to see my video on the polyvagal theory.
Nice to meet your acquaintance. We're going to be friends for a while. Let's settle in.
I bet he still thinks about that memory and gets shivers down his spine. There's always a story where we've done something silly in the past and we think back and then it sends that shiver all the way down.
You get that whole thing, don't you? Something you've said, something you've done, and you think, what was I thinking? Like, you just, and you relive it. You relive the whole
Maybe Adam's right. No, sorry, Simon was right. He needs to embrace it and move on.
Twice in one show. Oh, yeah.
What's going on?
That's it, yeah. That's twice in the history of the Grumpy Gits.
I will make a good dictator in the end.
I'll accept the first syllable.
Yeah. I reckon Kate's holding up cue cards off camera. There's no way.
We all know she's the brains of the operation.
Moving on. I suppose we better get this out of the way, guys. We alluded to it earlier. Masterchef just can all make fun of me so I can go. Just all say what they've got to say and let's move the fuck on.
I have to ask, how does it? You got given an apron with MasterChef on it. How is the person who gets out the first episode they're on labelled a MasterChef?
I mean, I'll be honest. We all got one. Nancy Delanio has one.
It was a cauliflower catastrophe.
It was just utterly. Like when I lifted that cloche, my heart sank. I had no idea what to do with it. It was like a condom in a magazine. I was like, what do I do?
I'm surprised you didn't kill anyone. You know, I've got to give you credit for that because I try to support Adam on when he goes on shows. He didn't give me a heads up in MasterChef. He didn't give me a heads up on Celebrity Mastermind, which he won. And I've sent him cookbooks in the post as well, which I want back to train him to actually learn how to cook. And he goes out first round.
Hang on, that doesn't make sense. You gave him he didn't give you a heads up, yet you sent him cookbooks.
I gave him cookbooks to actually practice how to cook because he can't cook to save his life.
Why would you give him cookbooks if you didn't know what was going on?
He must have given you a heads up then.
I totally told you.
Sorry, not heads up. Sorry, I'm going to do that bit again because sorry, Jeff, cut there. So I was going to say.
Keep it.
No, leave it this.
That's staying.
A shout out.
Is staying.
A shout out. I'm going to do that bit again. Sorry. So I try and support Adam when he goes on TV shows. I gave him loads of questions for WWE when he goes on to Celebrity Mastermind and wins it. And then I sent him loads of cookbooks to practice, chefing, which he failed at miserably. But congratulations on not killing the judges, and no shout out at all. So Simon, good friend, he's been helping me out. No.
I mean, I might have said that, but they edited it out, and so we're
much like we'll be.
Yeah.
Does sending you a few cookbooks warrant a shout out? To be fair, because couldn't Adam just Google how do I cook?
I regard sending me cookbooks and calling it training is like sending someone Lego and calling them a builder.
This is the supportive nature I get back and the comments I get back for all the things I do for you. Oh
yeah, the postage.
I mean, frankly, I'd have won Mastermind anyway.
Well, you'll never know.
Oh, I do know. Has anyone got anything else to say about my cooking? No, great.
I want to know. What did it actually... I genuinely want to know. What did it feel like when it was like you're the one going? How did that moment feel?
I remember the agent calling me and telling me, and I put it on speakerphone so I could tell my mum, and my mum, without even looking up from her knitting, laughed. And you know what? Secretly, I agreed. Hello, back again, taking a quick break to do some insert news here. We at Grumpy Gits Towers have some amazing news, and I'm going to throw over to our saucy Aussie, Duncan Casburn, to fill us in on details. Duncan Casburn, fill us in on details.
We are now partnered with Rise for Disability, and they have a show called the Disability Expo. And we are official partners for the Disability Expo. So it's happening in July next year. It's going to be amazing. It is going to have a lot of different people from a lot of different areas of disability all coming together. The reason we're so excited about this is because they have a real passion for disability. So it's not a show that's just still being put together with that theme. The Rise for Disability are a business, a family business that started a long while back and have been doing this for a little while and are building up, and this is going to be the biggest one they've done, and it's going to be Excel in London in July. We'll put the dates up, but get involved. It's fantastic, and we're really proud to say we're partnered with them.
And Chris Leasmith, word on the grapevine is that Grumpy Gits Live is also going to be there in full force. Can we confirm or deny this allegation?
absolutely confirm that it's true. I think we have got to confirm that, but I think we've got 2-hour slots, and lots of other acts going on as well. So it's really, really exciting, and we're working closely with these guys, and I can't sing their praises enough. They are really, really passionate, and they follow the same ethos as what we do, which makes this a great partnership.
Well, I, for one, am excited. I know my 3 colleagues are here too. We're going to put all their socials down below and in the description. Go give them a follow, say hey, get involved, and come see us live. Come get involved, come meet the Grumpy Gits. If you've got a see you next Tuesday question you want answered live, hit us up on Twitter. If you have a Dear Grumpy Gits you want answered live, absolutely hit us up on Twitter. The bar's set quite high, just to let you know. If you're cheating on your girlfriend and you want our advice, stop cheating on your girlfriend. That's that one done. And yeah, great news, great partnership. Excited to move forward with Rise Disability. And anyway, let's get back to the rest of the show. And welcome back to the Grumpy Gits, the disability podcast that is not a disability podcast. What does that mean? I don't know, but the marketing department said it sounded good, so we are rolling with it. Seriously, that's money on fibre we are not getting back.
And there goes our new sponsors. Episode 1, and we're in breach of contract already. Excellent.
They know what we mean.
Well, I'll contact the lawyer and the insurance company just to make sure.
Hello? Yeah, he said it's fine. Anyway, this weekend. Don't have time for it, Simon. Don't have time for it. This weekend saw one of the what are now becoming regular YouTuber boxing events. KSI fought twice in one night. Some other stuff happened. I'm going to be really honest. As a combat sports fan, boxing, UFC, I hate this shit. I think boxing's been in trouble for a long time anyway. What with freak show fights like Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, and it all becoming more about money, hype, pomp and circumstance than the actual old school act of pugilism. And I think this is why MMA is becoming a lot more popular than boxing, because there's less of that bullshit there. I don't know if any of you saw it. It was not good. I regret spending money on it. But what do you guys think? Where does this sit in the pantheon of pugilism, combat sports, and entertainment? And where do all those things collide?
Well, it's pros and cons. The pros is it's getting a brand new audience into the sport. The cons is such a shit level of the sport. It's a circus act. I mean, when you look at, and I don't like the guy, but when you look at Jake Paul or you look at KSI, he's below amateur, but Jake Paul is looking quite tasty as a boxer, and I think he could hold his own. The mockery he makes of it is fighting fighters that aren't fighters. So yeah. They aren't boxers, and I know that he signed one up and he dropped out Tommy Fury. But like I said, it's the pros and cons. And while they bring in so much money, the fight promoters will always, back it, promote it. Boxers used to be popular. They used to be their fame was based on their skill and their showmanship. Now it's whoever's got the best PR. I'll be honest, I don't like Tyson Fury. I think he's a good boxer, but if he was put in the heyday of boxing, he would get absolutely trounced. But it's just such a bad division that's making him look good.
I think that's valid. I think there's that whole thing. It's like, it's done for bravado almost, and it's not done for the sport. It's actually So I respect any sport that is done for the sport. I'm not a big sportsman, and I don't follow sports really, and from that perspective. But I always respect, like back in Australia, there was the State of Origin, which was rugby league, and it was New South Wales versus Queensland. It was always just an epic game, regardless of if you love rugby, don't like rugby. Everyone stopped to watch it because it was just amazing. An amazing display of the level of the sport, because there was such a rivalry. It really came out. But it was about the sport. It was about the love of the game and about the love of what was, really taking place and the passion that went behind that. When you take these things, I think is it Jake Paul wants to take on Andrew Tate as well?
Yes, yeah. Andrew Tate has waded in to this three-ring circus.
I'd love to see that. I fear for Jake Paul in it, but it would be great if it went that way and it just got one lucky punch in and laid him down the rest. But it's, but realistically, it's about this bravado between popularity, and it's not about the sport. It's about the people who are involved, and that I don't like. I find that
it's not tasteful, is it?
No, and it's
almost
not
disrespectful as well.
And it's not sportsmanship.
No.
At all.
You're following what they do, not the sport, and it leaves a nasty taste. What do you think, Simon?
Don't like boxing, never followed boxing.
Okay.
Glad you're here.
Yeah. However, I do have an opinion on the Andrew Joshua situation. So I don't like boxing at all. It's, if someone gets punched in the head for an hour and a half, it should be illegal. It's assault. But yeah, I didn't get. I read the reports the following morning, and I read the newspapers as a journalist. I like reading all the stories, and people were criticising that a boxer of Anthony Joshua's style. I don't know how good he is. I know he's got a few belts. That's all I know. He may have just lost them. I don't know how it works. Haven't got a foggiest.
Nope.
Anyway,
you've lost your title from way back when because you've had a fight now.
Yeah. Anyway, if someone gets punched in the head for an hour and expected to give a question, like State of the Union response in a ring after being punched in the head for an hour by a bloke who weighs 300 pounds, I don't think I would be very vocal at the time or be able to put a sentence together either. And yet they were having a go at him on his responses.
But by your rationale there, does that mean that karate shouldn't be considered a sport?
Karate is self-defense.
It's still
against somebody else.
It's actually classed as a self-defense mechanism. That's why it's there. It's to teach people how to protect themselves. It's a combat sport for self-defense reasons.
Okay, sumo. I'm thinking sumo. But boxing itself is an Olympic sport.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not a sport, but all sports are violent. Cricket is a violent sport. You're throwing a ball at someone at 100 miles an hour. Baseball is a violent sport. Rugby is a violent sport. But there's a difference between
synchronized swimming.
What I'm saying is, a lot of the sports are violent. They've always been historically violent. However, there's a difference between getting hit in the head for an hour and throwing a ball at someone's legs to hit a wicket. Okay? There is a different way of actually playing sport, and I just don't agree with boxing at all.
Okay, what about football? How many times I had a ball?
Yeah. Rugby.
That's
I said
90
rugby.
minutes.
Yeah, rugby's a violent sport. Football's.
I think we're getting confused here between violence and contact sports. We're getting confused with violence and contact sports here. I don't think they're violent. We say that you're throwing a ball 100 miles an hour. You're not actually throwing it at them. You're trying to hit, for instance, in cricket, you're trying to hit the wickets, not at them. It isn't dodgeball. Dodgeball is another one.
Olympic dodgeball. That I want to see.
You can
Purple Cobras.
You can dodge a ball. You can dodge a spanner.
That's it.
Technically, just to clear up some things before people tweet us or put in the comments, it's not an hour; it's 36 minutes. In the rules of cricket, you are allowed to throw the ball directly at the batsman, so you aren't in baseball. And synchronized swimming, heinously violent. So yeah, thanks all that cleared up. Don't comment. We know.
Oh.
But it does make an interesting point going on off the back of what Simon said about kind of boxing, mental health, well-being of athletes. A lot of research into CT and concussions now exists, so we know more than we did. As someone that follows the Paul brothers and their work, I hate watch a lot of their stuff. Jake Paul's speech has gone dramatically downhill since he started boxing. He's slower, he slows his speech a little bit more than he used to. And so I think the risks, when it gets this sort of like new populist audience, all they see is the glitz and the glamour. And I don't think the risks are explained as much. So I think it'd also be good for them to use their platforms to talk about that, to go and kind of look at older boxers who maybe aren't quite on good form, who have had brain injuries, CTE, concussions, and realise what the long-term effects of it are.
But I guess that's the thing as well, is that, and that brings it back to the original sort of discussion, is that when you've got professional boxers going in for the sport, they're aware of the risks, they're aware of the dangers, they're aware of the protection that they need to provide for themselves and how that goes about it. When you've got these amateurs coming in and just doing it for YouTube views and likes on your video, they haven't got that history of training that goes into it. And so they're going in with a really blinkered view. And it is all about, I just want to knock this guy for six. And that's where I agree with Simon there. That's where it becomes, it's almost like a legalised assault rather than it being...
I think there's a difference, though, between the levels of two YouTubers fighting and two heavyweights fighting.
That's what I'm getting
YouTubers.
at.
Yeah, but I don't think head injury, I think, is minimalised when it comes to YouTubers. They haven't got the strength. They haven't been training since they were small in the gym. They've literally, started boxing 3 months before a fight.
So
they haven't got that power technique to hurt someone truly. So I think it's minimalised.
I've just thought of one of the most ironic situations of all time. A couple of years ago, Will Smith didn't get nominated for an Oscar for his role when he played a doctor in America who was analysing American football players' injuries into their heads, and it was basically like an onion going around, and it was getting bruised on the inside, but you don't see it on the outside. And it was quite a good film, actually. And that's what caused the controversy with him not getting nominated for an Oscar, and his wife hit out at the press. And then a couple of years later, he gets nominated for an Oscar, gets up on stage, and hits Chris Rock in the head after starring in a film about head injuries.
I guess it was more of a slap though. It was like a I think
and Duncan, do you know why he slapped?
Because paper beats rock.
Paper beats rock. Hey, there we go. I'm gonna have one shit joking episode. That was it.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, with all this being said. And I'll be the first to hold my hands up and say, although I hate it, I'm also a rank hypocrite. Jake Paul, Andrew Tate. Who's coming around my house to watch it?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Absolutely.
Rather have an ice bath.
Well, gentlemen, as always, it's been a pleasure. I hope you, the viewers, have enjoyed it as much as we have. Simon, if people want to know more about you or find you during the week or know more about Snowball or the plethora of other things that you do with your life, where can they find you? What can they do?
They can follow Ability Access on Facebook. They can follow Ability Access 1 on Twitter. And they can also download the Snowball app. It is on Apple and Android under Snowball Community, and leave reviews on places that are accessible and not accessible.
Amazing. Mr. Duncan Casburn, where can people find out more about you and the amazing work you do within the PDA world?
Basically, just Google PDA Dad UK. It'll come up. My Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube. It's all on there. That's what it will come up under.
And Mr. Chris Leasmith, if people want to follow you on the socials and interact with you, how can they do so?
Just the real Grump Dad on Twitter. The rest I don't bother with.
And for Adam, I believe you can Google you on Pornhub. Is that right?
That is correct. You can find me on Pornhub, OnlyFans, Adult Work. You can also
not MasterChef.
Not MasterChef.
Yeah. Tuesday, done. You can find me on Twitter at Adam_Pearson. Anyone that sends me memes on MasterChef will be told to suck off and fuck his rock. And I have many rules in life. That is one of them. And no, please keep watching. I won't block you. I promise. We need the metrics. No, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, interact with us. We love you all. From me, Adam Pearson, from Simon Sansome, Duncan Casburn, and Chris Leasmith. See you all on the next episode. Adieu. Mwah.